Hey, everybody, this is Jimmy. Welcome back to another episode of the Meet the Candidate series for Cambridge City Council and Cambridge School Committee 2023. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest, the Reverend Vernon Walker. I have met him around town over the last couple of years. We've paths have crossed a few times. So, Vernon, welcome to the show. Tell people about yourself and tell us how long you've been living in Cambridge.
Yeah, thank you so much for the warm introduction and the generous offer to come here on the radio station. And really glad to be here. In fact, I'm hippopotamus glad and elephant happy to be talking with you and also to our viewers. So I've been living in Cambridge for over 4 years, over 3 years, I'm sorry. But I first became familiar with Cambridge in 2013 when I was taking classes at the Harvard Divinity School. So in 2013, while I was a graduate student at Boston University, I cross-registered and took classes at the Harvard Divinity School. And I started working in Cambridge in 2019. But technically, I've been living in Cambridge for over 3 years.
Great. And tell us, why are you running for Cambridge City Council?
Well, I'm running for three different reasons. Number one, renters need equitable representation. Currently, the city is 66% renters, and we have two counselors that are renters on council, and one is not seeking reelection. I think for the majority of the city to be renters and only have two renters, I think we need a bit more equitable representation because we know that renters face issues that homeowners don't. And I'm not necessarily saying that we don't want homeowners on the city council. I think we need all perspectives on the city council. We know that it's around about $2,750 around about to rent a one-bedroom apartment. And we know that rent is expensive. I'm also running because currently there is no African American male on council. We have African Americans, or Black, I should say, is about 10.6% of the city, and we currently do not have an American male on council. And I'm also running because the climate crisis is real. For over 4 years, I was the manager/director of an organization called the Communities Responding to Extreme Weather, and essentially what we did was help prepare people for extreme heat and extreme flooding. We worked in the areas of Dorchester, Mattapan, the South End, and Brockton. And not only did we provide information and education on best practices to prepare for those extreme weather events, but we also provided material resources. We provided energy efficient air conditioners and cooling kits, and those neighborhoods that I mentioned, and Brockton, and we provided flood kits in East Boston. So essentially, we need a city councilor that has the background in climate adaptation that will be able to bring that to the council and bring that work to bear to be able to create program with the public health department that focuses on massive education on preparing for extreme heat and flooding across our 13 different neighborhoods. So those are the three reasons why I'm running, Jimmy.
All righty. So tell us, what do you think, in your estimation, what is the city doing well right now? What is the city doing well, and what could be improved upon?
Well, I think the city last night the city council passed Affordable Housing Overlay 2.0. So there's a commitment to building more affordable housing because we are in a housing crisis. There are over 20,000 names that are on affordable housing wait list. And of those names, 6,000 either live or work in Cambridge. So when we talk about affordable housing, we're talking about, and people waiting for a unit, we're talking about social workers. We're talking about firefighters, etc., that can't afford to live in our city because the cost of living is astronomically high. So I think it's a step in the right direction on what the city council passed last night. And in terms of the Affordable Housing Overlay 2.0, which would allow buildings to be built up to 15 stories in the square that are 100% affordable, that would allow developers to build 100% affordable 15-story buildings in the square and up to 12 stories along the corridors, Concord Ave, Cambridge Street, etc. So I think that's a great step in the right direction. In regards to climate change, the city has a urban forest friend program, but there's no funding behind it. And from what I understand, the participation is low. The purpose of the Urban Forest Friend program is for a neighbor to adopt a tree the closest tree to them and agree to water it, particularly a young tree. And as we know that climate change will bring more droughts, it's important that it's important that we not only protect mature tree canopy and mature trees, but we need to ensure that young trees are watered properly. And I would seek to put funding to hire coordinators in this program and to encourage neighbors and their neighbors to adopt a tree. So I think that's another area that the city could improve on. And then finally, when I think of climate resilient policies, one cooling center was opened in 2021, and to me that's ridiculous and outrageous. I think we need to open up a network of cooling centers. And just to be clear, cooling centers are spaces such as community centers, libraries that open their doors to the public to be able to come in when it's extremely hot outside. I recently read a report that Cambridge will experience triple the amount of hot days by 2030 than what we've experienced in the summer of 2023. So I think those areas the city could really do better on, and also creating safer streets. Not only do we need more protected bike lanes, but I think we need to think of a way to ensure that our streets are safe for pedestrians and motorists. And I'm willing to put forward a program that would essentially be on-demand transit that would operate similar to Lyft and Uber, but it would be free to low-income residents and senior citizens and be subsidized for middle-income earners. And essentially the purpose of this program, it would take people around, and they would call it through our app, and it would take people around in the city of Cambridge, and it would be done because we're going to have more protected bike lanes. So I'm willing to put forward that policy so we can ensure that people can get around the city, because essentially we know that we need more protected bike lanes. We know that we need more affordable housing. And essentially there's been an uproar over the 15 stories in the square. And really, currently AHO 1.0 passed in 2020, and that allowed stories to be built up to buildings that are 100% affordable in the square to be built up to 12 stories. The people that really know the difference are the people that are on that waiting list that we talked about. And essentially we're in a crisis, and I'm looking forward to, if elected, to build out the AHO 2.0 and to be a strong proponent for not only more affordable housing, but for looking at how we can try and to implement and look at ways we can put forward a municipal voucher. And this municipal voucher will subsidize market rate rent for middle and moderate income earners.
Okay. Now tell me, what organizations, if any, have endorsed you?
Yes, we're going to start as follows. The Greater Boston Labor Coalition, our council has endorsed me. So the Greater Boston Labor Council has endorsed me. The Mass Nurses Association has endorsed me. Sierra Club has endorsed me. Environmental League of Massachusetts has endorsed me. Run on Climate has endorsed me. 350 Mass has endorsed me. Massachusetts Peace Action has endorsed me. Cambridge Residents Alliance has endorsed me. Our Revolution Cambridge has endorsed me. And for the rest of the endorsements, you can see on our website. State Representative Mike Conley has endorsed me. State Senator Jamie Eldridge has endorsed me. Current outgoing City Councilor Quentin Zondervan has endorsed me. And also SCIU 509 has endorsed me.
You got a lot of endorsements.
Yes, a lot of endorsements, and all those endorsements are on our website.
Right. So you talk about the housing, and you're a fierce advocate for more affordable housing, and you also talk about the bike lanes. So in terms of community input, because they've been a little controversial with people in the community.
Yes.
Not everybody wants a 18-story building next to them or in that general vicinity. Not everybody sees the importance of the bike lanes as crucial, or they want to maybe tweak it or maybe have more community input with it. So when it comes to issues like this, are you willing to listen to people in the community and maybe readjust some of the standards for the bike lanes or some of the standards for the housing? Are you open to the community input is the question?
Yes, part of my background, I have done some community organizing and political organizing, and I think it's important to listen to the citizens and to the neighbors that an issue that will predominantly affect them. So yes, I am open to listening and hearing residents And I really think that's part of being a public servant. Really, that's what I really think a city councilor is a public
Right.
servant who is willing to listen to the concerns of the constituents in order that we might be able to tackle these complex problems
Mhm.
together.
Vernon, in terms of parking, do you would you be open to more parking? I mean, that's a big consideration for a lot of people, especially seniors who have to get around in a car. They're not going to ride a bike. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to take the train. The train is kind of not always available either. I mean, is that something you would be
Mm-hmm.
open to in terms of parking?
I will certainly have a listening ear to the constituents. That's why I proposed the on-demand
Mhm.
transit program that would allow seniors to get to the shops that they would like to go, or to get to the doctors or the dentist, or the places that they need to emulate
Mhm.
to in Cambridge. So I think that it's inevitable that if we have more protected bike lanes, that we're going to lose parking
Mhm.
spaces. I mean, our city is only 6 square miles. But what I propose is this on-demand transit option that will be able to help mitigate some of the parking that is lost. However, I think before bike lanes go into a particular neighborhood, there needs to be a conversation that happens
Mhm.
between the elected officials, and the relevant departments that are responsible, Department of Public Utilities that's responsible for ripping up the streets and inserting the bike lane. So I think transparency and accountability is very important, and that's a platform that I'm also running on, is transparency and accountability. So essentially. I certainly would meet with those who are hindered. And I've heard this on the campaign
Yeah.
trail. People are hindered, but certainly I would be a city councilor that looks to be a bridge builder and work with everybody and bring all voices to the table, particularly the marginalized voices, to policymaking.
Okay, so how about a closing statement, Vernon Walker, and tell people where they can find you, how they can volunteer, how they can make a large donation, and how they can learn more about your campaign and your positions on the different issues.
Yes, please feel free to visit my website, votevernon.org, and you can see the endorsements, my platform, etc. And also feel free to follow us on Twitter, or we're at the MLK handle. You can feel free to look us up on Instagram. MLK Dreaming, I should say, on our Twitter, and MLK Dreaming on our Instagram, and Reverend Vernon K. Walker, candidate for City Council, Cambridge City Council, on Facebook. So please do. If you're interested in sending us a check, you can mail it to P.O. Box 391098, Cambridge, Mass. 02139. Or if you might like to make a donation, you could donate on our website. So you can mail a check or donate. And if you like to be in touch with me, we have our email address on the website, info@votevernon.org, or you can email me at vernon@votevernon.org. And I would be surely glad to chat with you and to dialogue with you.
Great.
And if there's any way that I can help you and any concerns that you have and that you're wrestling and grappling with, please do reach out. And I hope to earn your number one vote uh, on November 7th. Or if you're planning on voting by mail, or you're planning to vote during early voting, which starts on October 28th, I'm hoping that you'll vote Vernon number one, so we can take these concerns and these issues to the hollow halls of City Hall, and we can make sure that there is greater transparency
Great.
and greater accountability and greater inclusivity.
Great. Thank you so much, Vernon. Great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck, and I will see you on the campaign circuit.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Jimmy.